look positively radiant.
Really, you think?
No, but I was told it was customary to say so.
Don't let me say we're here to save humanity. This is the last stand, and we'll do our best. We're here to erase us. Power Rangers, RPM, let's go. Power Rangers, RPM, let's go.
Get a job! RPM is the funniest series in Power Rangers. I don't care. Everything that's said, all of the acting is so real.
Not a problem. Should we give it a shot? I mean, what's the word?
If what they're saying isn't funny, it's either serious or absurd, and thus becomes funny.
Why are you staring at me?
I thought you'd be a dude.
Excuse me?
Dr. K is running tests to see how fit Ziggy really is on the team as Ranger Operator Series Green. Yes, that's how I will refer to them. That's their names. That's like calling this dude Go-onger Ranger. That's wrong. Some of this stuff I don't even need to add anything to for it to be funny.
Back out and we'll take it from there. Back out. You got it.
See, RPM is crazy because it's Green Ranger, no, this time it doesn't count, escaped from a criminal organization that he himself was a part of.
I know who I am, on the inside and out. I can...
Ziggy's focus episode revolves around him having to use his own abilities to help the team while also dealing with his past of messing things up and hurting people in the process.
Ziggy, we need you to teleport behind that thing and take it out.
Look at how intently he's focusing on everyone's words here. He's great. When using his teleportation as part of the team's plan against the Avenging's attack bot, he somehow accidentally teleports himself into a vault filled with money to where he's immediately arrested, and it's like the scariest situation on the planet.
Don't move! No. I am not that guy.
Like, can you even imagine? Like, what would you even say? Like, literally the first thing you'd say is, I don't know how I ended up in this safe. Like, what? What are they? Of course they're not going to believe it. What makes it worse is Ziggy's past association with criminals lands him in deeper hot water as it's used against him in interrogation while he's locked up. This is one of the wildest things I've ever written in a Power Rangers video.
I'm here for Fresno Bob's money.
The Rangers go to the cartel boss to gather more information. They then find out that there was once an incident where Ziggy was tasked with taking a truck with valuable items from A to B. It was thought that Ziggy stole the truck and used whatever it was for himself, and before relaying the events of what actually happened, Dr. K loses all faith in Ziggy, asking for his morpher to be removed.
What's for dinner?
You are, Ziggy.
Ziggy is kidnapped from the interrogation room by members of the cartel and brought to the boss.
Why did you do it?
All you need to know, Bob, is that I'd do it again.
A former acquaintance of Ziggy meets with Dr. K, where he informs that Ziggy didn't actually do anything nefarious with the truck. It was filled with stolen medical equipment that he then took to the orphanage he previously visited to help the dying children.
Gamma sickness, huh? How many? All of them.
His reason for not explaining being the fear of anyone targeting the kids afterwards. This sets something off in Dr. K, even if reluctantly, and she infiltrates where Ziggy's being kept to kill everyone. Kill us all! Or do that.
What is it exactly that you want?
I want him.
Yeah!
After saving him, she releases his morpher, trusting that he'll prove a valuable asset after learning the truth. Where can I get one of them spinny things at? I like that Ziggy doesn't fully get the hang of teleportation in this episode, even at the end. It shows that he's still got a lot to learn, but that the preconceived notions about him by other people aren't true. You can't judge a book by its cover, and especially in Dr. K's case, it's a lesson in trust. She struggled with her faith in people due to situations we'd learn later on, but Ziggy being there as part of the reason her trust begins to grow stronger is something to be loved.
You came outside, out of doors, to save me. Now, out of doors.
RPM is good and you should watch it. Ranger Operator Series grade.
Let it shine, let it shine, let it
What a wholesome family.
What an unbelievable, wholesome family.
You'll wake the baby.
Oh my god. This is one of the most incredible fight scenes there has ever been. Props to Koichi Sakamoto, props to the stunt actors, the actors.
That'll teach him to monkey around. Get it? The monkey bars.
And especially that one man that apparently nearly died during this.
This young Japanese something that took off of the top of a thing and to like jump backwards and then like land upside down on his head as a final on the slide and like fell off. It was bad. It's like, oh, and we come back eventually, but it was terrifying guy.
Flynn, get the team together.
Aye, roger that. We're just tidying up a bit over here.
This team is so unserious. Also, listen to the sound design.
What's going on?
Power Rangers RPM is so insanely polished.
I'm going in myself. Go back.
We're taking fire!
Ending Academy Simulation 42.
Scott, our Red Ranger, is a man clouded in a shadow, the shadow of his older brother. Scott struggled in training and always found himself being second place, and in some cases not even, as his father is looking for someone to become second leader to the Eagle Squadron alongside his older brother, not even looking his way.
We're flying dark.
Follow me.
Okay.
I love the way RPM handles focus episodes as they directly parallel the actual story and happening events without slowing things down. It keeps the backstory and the current plot flowing in tandem.
Doc K, downmorph the remote croc carrier Zord.
Downmorphing and launching of new remote Zord initiated.
Speaking of current plot, the Croc Carrier Zord, a Zord meant to be piloted without a present ranger, goes off the rails, crashing into the city's energy tower.
Apparently, I miscalculated the required energy levels needed to properly power the remote carrier.
Miscalculated, you mean,
It has happened before, you know.
The Zord needs more energy than what was initially given, meaning it needs what's called a core reactor.
You said the whole unmanned Zord thing would work.
Theoretically.
But you said we'd be needing it.
We will.
Then how do you possibly expect
The only person that knows the whereabouts of something like this is Scott, as his brother once needed it to power his aircraft. The plan then was to man the skies while the human population piled inside the dome before the shields were raised when the city of Corinth initially was under attack.
What's our exit plan? How do we get our birds home once the city shields are raised?
What's the matter, little brother? You want to live forever?
What does that mean? See, I don't understand that phrase. Like, why is he questioning his own brother wanting to make sure they come back alive? Like, what kind of ew? To make matters worse, General Truman, Scott's father, tells him to stand down, not to go in with the rest of the squadron.
I don't take orders from you. Not anymore, sir.
Really? Then why are you saluting?
There's some layers to this. Truman is a protective father. He's not in the wrong for wanting to protect his son and keep him alive. At the same time, he's not allowing himself to trust in his son to get the job done, despite him now being Red Ranger and a key defender of the city, let alone leader of the team. Scott's plan is to go in alone to retrieve the core reactor, which is dangerous as is, but he's never been allowed to go in and do anything on his own, so how would anyone know what he can and can't handle? Especially when he knows his own escape plan, unlike his brother in the past. It would be different if something had happened to him beforehand and he was just going in reckless, but it seems he's always been restrained when the thought of a solo plan were in order.
Sensors tracking movement. Blocking location.
Ugh, I was having my best dream, too.
Wait, where's Scott?
Wait, what was the dream? Wait, guys, wait, hold on. Flynn got something to say. What was the dream, bro? Scott takes off to get the reactor while the team worries about his well-being, and Dr. K plays an audio recording of Marcus dying in his plane from the Battle of Corinth. What an asshole.
Eagle 1, we are taking fire! We are taking fire!
During the Battle of Corinth, Marcus was hit by enemy fire while in fight after not properly listening to Scott's suggestions as they fought together. This is where Scott met and was picked up by Summer, and they both sped into the dome before the shields closed.
Let's move!
In the present day, after finding the reactor, Scott gets ambushed but promptly rushed back to the dome by General Truman.
Hit you waiting for a light to change? No, sir.
While things got tough and Truman came to his aid out of fear to bring him back, he hadn't put his full trust in him.
This was reckless and dangerous. If Marcus were here...
If Marcus were here! he would have done it himself.
Realizing this, he finally allows Scott to make his own decision.
RPM! Get in gear!
Scott acts as team leader, which means he makes the call for his team. While you can stand down to the leader's actions, up to this point he's never let anyone down and knows his ways around a situation, something his father failed to properly see until after the city had been saved again for that day.
Black, green, you are go for crop carrier sequencing.
At the end of the episode, we find that the late Marcus Truman, Scott's brother, did in fact recommend Scott to be second squad leader before he passed. The story of the Trumans is upsetting, but one that continues the theme of trust that Power Rangers RPM had holding over its premise. General Truman knew Scott could be a great leader, even as second in command, but the death of Marcus held him back from ever letting that into motion. It's heartbreaking, but gratifying knowing that while this was happening, Scott's been defending the city and world as Red Ranger piloting the Eagle Zord. Ranger Red did an amazing job at relaying the backstory of this family and setting up things to come. Ranger Operator Series Red.
No.
It's all clear. Over and out.
Yeah, dude?
Ranger Blue, how come you talk pretty?
Billy, lass, it's because I'm Scottish.
Don't the guys look the cutest in the span? I mean, in the tights.
Actually, I think it comes down to the angle at which you went.
Have you always been this nice, Miss Yellow?
Gosh, man, it wouldn't be Disney's Power Rangers if it didn't have a loud bike scene that lasts unnecessarily long. Summer's backstory as Yellow Ranger is interesting because it's the only one of the bunch to be a two-parter.
That's when everyone yells, "Surprise!"
Summer is the daughter of a rich family and was a girly girl, but she also did, like, everything, which explains her love of riding bikes throughout the series.
Get here!
Her parents come to visit the command center and just start acting like they run the place.
You're the Power Rangers?
Aye.
Not their servants? My goodness. How very middle class.
Them stating they've always been around prompts Summer to think back to where we find they're often out of the picture, even in situations where Summer plans a gathering that she thinks they'll enjoy. They instead showered her with gifts, expecting them to make up for their absence. Back when the Earth was initially under attack by Venjix, Summer received somewhat of a wake-up call. Her butler Andrews being missing along with her parents' usual absence, leaving her entirely alone. The people she surrounded herself with show their true face when they get picked up and driven to safety on a vehicle that comes to max capacity.
Okay, do you know who I am? Guys, don't worry, we'll get the next one then.
Oh, that would have been my villain origin story, Trust and Believe. Why did I start like that? Oh, you gotta give him that. She is so fire.
Maybe not.
Yes, Lord. This episode is crazy because, as I mentioned earlier, it's the only main Ranger backstory episode that ends up as a two-parter, and Summer gets 2 solo morphs just in the first part.
Venjix human infiltration attack bot?
Sorry, my parents are visiting. Can we skip all the bad guy, blah, blah, blah?
No questions asked. Isn't that what you said?
That's enough! Do it!
Yo, if this is not one of the best ships in Power Rangers, I don't know what to tell you, man. That man hopped out of his seat.
I promised him I'd get married.
But it's time you remembered who you really are.
I'm sorry, is rich folk really like this? Like, okay, yeah, they didn't come to visit. They at some point got her to promise that she would get married, and then they came to make sure that this gets done. Like, what kind of people, like, ew.
Her parents have been planning to marry Summer off the chart since she's 5 years old.
Anyways, we get this long fight scene of the Rangers talking about the situation and coming to Summer's aid with some really good in-fight ADR and choreography.
With that much money, you can afford to be pretty generous to, you know, your closest friends.
It turns out that when Summer was left alone and abandoned during the Venjix raid, Andrews had gone and commandeered an ice cream truck because Venjix attack bots attacked their limousine. which doesn't make much sense because that would mean that he left the house with her and all of them folks in it to go find a car so that they could escape. But they clearly managed to get away from the house without him, and assuming the limo that was attacked was at the house. Like, Andrew, what is your problem, bro?
Come, Miss Summer. I need to get you to Corin City before they raise the shields. Your parents are waiting for you there.
Nevertheless, he was the only one that showed her some level of human compassion and hightailed it out of there with her to the city of Corinth.
Anyway, you still have the diamond.
Yes, the diamond.
The Black Diamond, a jewel passed down to further family members during their wedding, is exactly the jewel that Vengeance is after, as it's to be used to power one of their attack bots. This arranged marriage thing is gross.
We have no money.
The Vengeance sent someone to steal that diamond last night. I need it.
Yes, dear.
We'll give it to you at the wedding.
It's so weird. Summer's parents tell her they're broke because they were caught up in investments during the Vengeance attack on Earth. They have the Black Diamond that Vengeance is after and are told that it's exactly what Vengeance is after and that they're targeted because of it, but they won't give it to Summer to protect themselves because they want to make sure she gets married so they can get what they want regardless of if they die or not. What is wrong with you people? Oh, and they also try to blame it on her, saying they never told her about them keeping the Black Diamond for so long because she was out keeping people alive as the Yellow Ranger. Bro, shut up. Andrews and Summer went through trials and tribulations making their way to Corinth, and during that time she learns more about him than she ever did with anyone in her life.
I'm waiting for you to show me who you really are.
I don't know who I am.
I do. That's why I'm happy to keep waiting.
She realizes what it's like to have a true human connection and be around someone that truly cares about her. After witnessing the awful nature of both of her terrible parents, her realization becomes even more impactful. She deserves so much more than she's ever been given, and right when she starts to receive that, Andrew's life is taken at the hands of grinders that they both attempted to defend themselves against. What?
I still have to show you the real me?
You will, Miss Summer. I'll be watching. And I'll be waiting.
The man died and said he'd be watching and waiting for her in heaven. Like, what is good? This series is amazing. Summer makes it to the dome where her parents reunited with her and her new awakening was sparked.
Piece of cake.
You look positively radiant.
Really, you think?
No, but I was told it was customary to say so.
The old Summer is back and she's here to stay.
I cannot stand you. This man lambasted his daughter for wanting to save an aircraft pilot during the attack on Earth, and it turned out the pilot she saved was Scott the Red Ranger. Bro, sit down.
Ready?
Ready?
Ready.
The camera Vengeance bot manages to utilize the Black Diamond anyway and grow to giant size. They pilot the Megazord and kill him. The end. Y'all know how I operate.
What kind of Lansdowne is that daughter of yours?
She's a new kind.
The kind we're very proud of.
You know what? I don't care. I don't care that they made up with Summer at the end. I still don't like her parents. They're awful. In the last minute of the show, I'm not even kidding. They want us to believe they've learned their lesson and want to get a job and are proud of their daughter. I'm pretty sure the writers didn't even want to have them make up because of how quick it goes by. It's like they just ran out of time. These two people suck. Summer is genuinely one of the greatest Yellow Rangers we've ever had, and I love that we got to see her story explored through this two-parter. She's truly a highlight of this series, and it's amazing writing and commitment to things you normally wouldn't expect from Power Rangers. Ranger Operators Series Yellow.
Green is the clown and yellow, well, she's the girl. So what are you supposed to be?
It's none of your business. Flynn's backstory culminates in one of the stupidest solutions to an issue in Power Rangers, which by proxy also makes it the most amazing.
I can't help but notice this gigantic explosion right behind me, referring to the 6-story high fireballs, like that one, right there.
Remember this will be very important. It feels so ridiculous to say that, but just trust me.
We deal with tangible realities, not justice. You want justice? Read a comic book. Next.
What?
I'm gonna be completely honest with you. Anytime I somehow remembered that the show was airing on ABC Kids because Disney didn't want anyone watching this show at all, and they would be playing the Ranger Blue episode, I would be completely tuned out.
She said the magic words.
I don't know, and it's not even the show's fault. I just think it's the way the show looks, and anytime I turn to this channel and see Power Rangers RPM was airing and none of the Rangers would be on screen, it would be like something like this where they're just kids walking around. I'd be like, I don't want to watch this. It was different then, but I can appreciate it so much more now. Flynn, our Blue Ranger, grew up getting bullied and wanting to be a superhero like he read in his comic books. Like, look at this. As a kid, if I turned to ABC Kids and a show looking like this was on, I would not have thought it was Power Rangers.
There! See that explosion?
Actually, Rangers, and this feels so good to say. So what are you supposed to be?
That's the line. That's the famous line, and it's so funny to me because in context, it comes at the beginning of the episode where nothing has really happened yet, and I feel it should have happened so much later. Because it's so angry sounding, and it could have been used to like reaffirm his stance on the team after a climax, but it's still hilarious regardless.
Well, what are you supposed to be?
Your worst nightmare.
But this fight is just so fun. It's gold in so many ways.
Okay, not good. Out of power.
It's so fun, and they highlight the teamwork so well, and you can tell they were having fun even just writing it.
Energy low. Need recharge time.
The Rangers start losing power, which is interesting as we've never really seen something like this happen before in RPM. Flynn goes to use his time freeze ability to allow the Rangers to recharge while on the field, but suffers a malfunction.
You okay?
Flynn, talk to me!
During the mishap, we get more backstory, now with Flynn as an adult having just graduated college with no clear future in sight.
There's lives at stake here, man.
As a proud fish co-owner, I 100% commend what this man did to save that damn fish and condemn the folks that wanted it saved. Y'all got this thing in a bag with no tank, no filter, no heater, and I hope Flynn got that thing in a bag himself to save it, otherwise y'all should have perished. We're given a montage of Flynn getting fired at different jobs for messing up, all of which involve protecting the peace.
It's a good day to die, eh, boys?
It's important to at least be on the...
No good deed goes unpunished.
Dr. K runs diagnostics to find that Series Blue has apparently been plagued with an energy flow glitch since its development, which kind of makes sense why we never knew, considering he'd never really used this ability at all prior in the show.
You wouldn't understand.
Doctor, I may be a simple mechanic, but I'm still a mechanic.
Very well.
Basically, Flynn gets sidelined while his suit remains inoperable, as any usage could, I don't know, they don't really say, but I'm assuming kill him. This of course goes against everything he stands for, watching things just happen without any involvement from him, knowing that he can make a difference even in the smallest way.
Absolutely nothing. Do you think you can handle that?
Dr. K is such an asshole, and I love her. She just doesn't understand people. Bless her heart.
Doc, Summer and I are arriving on the scene now. RPM! Get it, get it!
That is so sick, dude, seeing it from the inside.
She's only 5 years old.
During the Battle of Corinth, a woman with horrible acting cries out for help for her little girl stuck outside the dome during the attack. Flynn hops in an empty school bus and rushes out to find her. The common thread of each of the Rangers being a desire to help and break outside the norm of their ordinary lives. Not even wanting to prove themselves, but to assure human life is not lost in any way possible.
Are we going to die?
Not today.
This moment comes back to Flynn in the present day, as right when the Rangers find themselves in more trouble, he rushes out himself, thinking of a plan right on the spot.
But I was thinking about what you said about reversing the electron polarity.
Yeah.
And I couldn't think of any reason not to re-reverse it during standard morpher.
Series Blue is suffering a reverse energy flow, so Flynn's solution is to reverse the reverse. Remember that Sentai pose at the end of each morph?
I'm telling you, that was just a little one.
By plugging his engine cell into the morpher upside down, Flynn's plan is to initiate the Sentai pose explosion at the end of the morph, but one that's so big it forces out any backed up energy, clogging Series Blue. This is the funniest thing on the planet. Bro, it's so raw, dude. Flynn is only out to show that he can do things. He's a mechanic as his father taught him, so while he may not program Ranger suits, he has knowledge on certain things that even Dr. K may not put into perspective. Sitting back and doing nothing just isn't in his vocabulary, and this is even proven earlier in the episode. There's so much to him besides just being Scottish. He's got a lot of heart, and the writing of the show did so well at bringing this out. Heroes come in all colors, fashions, parts of the world, and appearances. Flynn just happens to be Scottish and blue. At the end of the episode, he comes home at one point after becoming a ranger and notices his dad sleeping while reading stories of him in the news. A brilliant way at bringing things back full circle in the best way. Ranger Operator Series Blue.
Why are you staring at me?
I thought you'd be a dude.
I beg your pardon? I don't care. Dr. K will always be my favorite mentor in Power Rangers. There's so much to her, she has so much heart. She's a jerk.
That thing's still out there, what am I supposed to do then?
Nothing, Ranger Blue. Absolutely nothing. Do you think you can handle that?
But she means well. Her focus episode is also, like, actually insane. Play that funky music, white girl. I said funky, YouTube. Funky. Quit playing with me.
Doc K. I'll be right there.
Hey, who left this bowl of onions here?
It starts with her aggressively playing a white violin in the command center with a string popping after she's interrupted by Summer. Dr. K and this violin will be important for what I have to say later on.
Look at those two heads, they're disgusting! Oh! That one is the most...
These villains are genuinely hilarious. Please give them their flowers. This episode is built around the notion that Dr. K is running out of answers for how the Rangers can stand up to Venjix. Venjix's power is beginning to overthrow that of the Rangers' technology, even to where they need an entirely new flux overthruster just to power their strongest Megazord combination. You know, the kind of overthruster that Scott went out of his way to find in Ranger Red. We're immediately given backstory of her as a child enjoying life as one should, drawing on the ground with chalk, when she's then picked up by two strange men in suits and kidnapped.
Can I go outside now?
You're a very sick little girl and the sun makes you unwell.
Flash forward a year later and she's in a lab coat and an isolated room. This is so messed up. These people kidnapped this girl because of her prowess. You can see when she's using the chalk that she's writing out these complex equations and formulas, and they manipulate her into thinking she's sick so that she's not tempted to escape or just leave where she's been put, and force her to essentially create code for their operations. What makes it worse is we're shown that even in her adult age, she's sitting in the same room with a bigger lab coat and the exact same situation. Her entire childhood ripped away.
You do have a wish, don't you?
I wish I could remember my name.
She more than likely felt that if she weren't so smart, if she wasn't this genius as a child and were more stupid, those men would have never kidnapped her, which is so heartbreaking to think that that's what they did to her and her mind. She couldn't even remember her name. Back in the present, the Rangers are fighting a Venjix attack bot that can replicate their arsenal through its mirror gimmick. But at some point, it appears to shut down right before it's able to take the Rangers out. With it being normal size and seemingly offline, Dr. K requests that it be brought to the command center.
How did you ever create all this Ranger stuff?
I had help.
It's fascinating. We're shown more backstory on how the Ranger series technology was created, back at this awful holding cell, which is called Alphabet Soup, by the way. She has her own keyboard that she's playing, and nice of them to at least give her one of those, I guess. I don't know. I mean, there's also a violin there as well.
Hello.
Dr. K.
I'm Jem.
And I'm Gemma.
We're going to have so much fun working together.
Just tell us what we can do.
This is Jem and Gemma, twins that were assumably also kidnapped at a young age, if not birthed here. We actually don't know at all the circumstances surrounding how they showed up, but we do know they were also raised here at Alphabet Soup. They bond with Dr. K as they're meant to be the test pilots for the first Ranger series built with the Ranger series technology. Jem and Gemma I won't speak too terribly much on here in this video, as they'll be so much more important soon, but they take a liking to Dr. K, probably because she's the first other actual person they get to interact with that isn't someone in a business suit. Even Dr. K seems thrown aback by their interest in her and that they want to be friends, something she hasn't experienced in actual years. She's so enthralled that when gifted a pencil by them, she has no actual reason to use it, as she's never been given paper, so she decides to use it in place of her fingers on the keyboard to the point that it's losing lead. I love her so much, dude. If you look closely at her screen, she's deciphering code on what looks to be Venjix attack bots, or maybe perhaps creating it. Oh, back in the present, Tanaya 7 sneaks her way into the command center through the offline Venjix bot, and Dr. K points a gun in her face. I mean blaster, sorry.
This ain't a gun. Yo, TikTok, this is not a gun, dude. Look at this.
Tanaya reprograms the Zords so that the Rangers can't control them, but then gets captured by Dr. K's security system. Tanaya's desire to escape reminds Dr. K of when she found out the truth about Alphabet Soup. She once followed a butterfly that led her to sunlight for the first time in her adult life, which is when she realized she was being tricked and had never been sick. She rallies Jim and Gemma and tries to convince them as well that it's all been one giant fabrication. Her plan is to blind the security servers for their escape plan with a computer virus called Project Venjix.
No! Gemma, no!
Jim and Gemma get caught and brought back forcefully, with Kay being next. As she's being taken away, she violently attempts to install the firewall to keep Venjix from breaking out, but it's too late.
I just wanted to go outside! No! Please! It could infect the entire world!
1 year later at Alphabet Soup, the Battle of Corinth takes place, with Venjix having infected so much of the world. Dr. K manages to make a call to the world asking them to find Corinth City, where a dome will be put up to save anyone lost and in need of help.
No one can know that Venjix started here.
Now, I was initially of the belief that Venjix was created by Dr. K to escape Alphabet Soup, which maybe that was intended, but the way the business suits speak to her here make it seem like they were the ones that wanted it created. They had her breaking down codes for attack bots and had her create the Ranger system. Maybe Kay created Venjix for them because she was told to, but was just the one that released the virus without being able to install the firewall to keep it contained. Jim and Gemma come to her rescue, but then attempt to go back and retrieve the Gold and Silver series technology before being crushed, never seen again, by Dr. K.
Would you get out of here?
After Tanaya escapes, Kay uses her violin, something that causes Tanaya great distress, and as she does this, it triggers a fan system, sucking Tanaya out of the command center, leaving Kay in the base alone. The violin is her source of power, but it's also her escape. She can escape the demanding nature of the world through music and take her pain away. At the same time, it could also be something that fosters her anguish, as she may have first been given her violin at Alphabet Soup. Once she's finished playing, that means it's time to get back to work. She plays it, it forces Tanaya out of the command center, leaving her alone, meaning it's back to defending the world again from something she released herself. She played it at the beginning, got startled by Summer asking if she's ready to get back to work, and a string broke. Maybe she feels she needs to play the violin in order to feel accepted or to feel like she's doing a good job. I don't know. There's definitely some sort of trauma response here, and it's devastating. Dr. K's life and backstory is dark in nature, but gives her character so much depth and is interesting to think about. There's a reason I say she's my favorite mentor in Power Rangers. She does everything she can and has the world entirely on her shoulders, and you can clearly see how she reacts to things and people because of how she was brought up.
I grew up working round the clock in a top secret military think tank, codenamed Alphabet Soup.
She wants to understand and to feel, to be like everyone else, but because of what happened to her, she can't. Power Rangers RPM famously struggled in its production, mainly in its writing department during the last half of the season. Maybe this isn't confirmed and is just wishful thinking on my part, but with her lab coat and white violin, I would have given anything to see her become a Power Rangers exclusive Ranger as the White Ranger at some point, had things for the show continued the way they had started. Dr. K is a character that was never given love, but chases it just as much as she deserves it. The creator of the Ranger series. This is Jim and Gemma. Jim and Gemma I won't speak too terribly much on here in this video, as they'll be so much more important soon.
Fix this damn door!
During a road trip outside the dome to find Dylan's lost memories,
Dude, as if you wouldn't learn how to open a bag.
the Rangers end up in a fierce battle with Venjix and flying robot troopers when out of nowhere they're surprised by two random Zords fighting for them.
What are those things?
Ghosts, maybe.
Ghosts. We let this guy dry.
Oh, what? You go.
I'm sorry.
Dr. K is set off by the notion of there being gold and silver Zords, realizing what it must mean. When the Rangers are ambushed later on, we're met with the Zord pilots once again, but now on foot. Ranger Series Gold and Silver. The two fight together, perfectly in sync and the perfect complements to each other. Once the fight is over, they retreat to their Zords again and fly away. They keep doing this. In fact, they do this about like 3 times in the same episode. I'm so serious. In an episode that intertwines with the seriousness of Dylan's backstory, Gold and Silver take up the entire back half. After the van the Rangers used ends up destroyed, Gold and Silver lift the Rangers back to the dome in their Zords. General Truman chews Dr. K out for letting foreign entities into the dome before being told that Dr. K was the one that created the hardware. It's adorable that the moment they walk into the base, K knows exactly who they are. Who? Jim and Gemma, who went back to retrieve the gold and silver suits back in the days of Alphabet Soup, actually survived the attack and have been fighting Venjix bots and grinders outside the dome the entire time, which is insane. They have a very childish approach to everything.
If we plan to triangulate our fire, then we can...
It's film time!
Gemma!
A gimmick to where they always complete each other's sentences.
We're trying.
To win.
Hi, what are you trying?
To do, Colonel?
And a bizarre fascination with explosions.
Gonna go out there and
blow it up, God.
It was never really explained how they were brought up, but has been said that one plot point from the original writer of the show that never made it into the series hinted that they were both created in a lab. Jim and Gemma are wholesome beyond belief and are even the reason Dr. K stopped referring to the Rangers by their color series and now by name. Except Ziggy, because she clearly loves him.
You too, Ranger Series Green.
It's funny, I love them to death, but I genuinely feel like I have not too terribly much to say on or about them. It could be because of how late they come in, or because the production kicked out the head writer and replaced them with other people around this time. Hello! They get really good episodes, though, that kind of play off their childish nature in some ways. Mainly dealing with how they're able to manage being split apart, learning to team with other people, and understand their feelings towards things without going off on their own notion of, this is how I do it and I can do it by myself. There are times when their solo plan has extreme merit, their battles out in the wasteland showing their experience with what it's like outside the dome. The problem is they initially want to go out as a duo all the time, as opposed to looping the rest of the team in. I love the episode Heroes Among Us, which sees Scott and Jim saving General Truman and the Defenders, but when Truman comes with an honorary medal, it's given to Jim as opposed to his own son. And the framing of this scene is insane.
Thank you, sir.
Oh no, thank you, son.
Summer being in frame, visibly stunned. Thank you, son, when your actual son is standing right there. It breaks my heart, dude. This leads to Scott heading outside the dome in a desperate plea for attention and Jim having a heart-to-heart with him.
I mess up a lot, too. Like with the whole metal thing. I never got one before, and I really like it.
It's fascinating seeing his childish nature still at the forefront as he explains why he loves an award he's never received, yet understands it makes others unhappy. I love this because Scott then acknowledges that Jim does deserve the praise he gets, and then later is also able to talk him out of an impulse plan to take out Venjix bots they come across. When Truman gives him a medal in the end, Scott forfeits it himself as it was earned with him leaving the city and jeopardizing everyone's safety. Both Scott and Jim learn and find better paths for themselves, and it's the perfect way to pair one of the core Rangers with either gold or silver and their personalities.
But if it upsets you, it's gone.
Oh, no, Jim, look. You deserve that medal.
Gemma gets a really good episode as well, where she and Flynn almost develop sort of a relationship, both being individuals working on machinery and doing it together. It's so nice.
How about we give your fantastic little weapon some upgrades? Just you and me.
I say nice, but it really is like the cutest thing in the world, because they even add like a little montage of them working on the road attack Zord technology, and I don't know, it's fun. Dr. K doesn't trust Flynn because of mistakes he's made with the RPM tech.
Now for pity's sake, woman, would you just trust me for once?
Gemma works on road attack but makes her own mistakes.
It gave it too much power. Flynn, I'm so sorry.
Don't be. Power is exactly what we need.
Kay ends up trusting Flynn in the end, partially because of his genius, but also because of Gemma's involvement.
I certainly hope you weren't doubting the competence of me or my rangers, Colonel.
But then the show just doesn't do anything with them being together much at all afterwards. And it's like, bro, it's so obvious, and you wouldn't even have had to do that much. It's been said that Jim and Gemma were brought in to lighten the mood of RPM, and honestly, I can see that being the case, especially with how and when they showed up. We were right in the heart of a dark journey to uncover the past of one of our core rangers, and the moment they show up, the show makes a massive heel turn to focus on them. All in all, their inclusion only makes the show better. RPM was already solid, but Jim and Gemma heightened things in an interesting way. Bring in folks whose personalities are wildly different than the rest of the team, yet manage to complement extraordinarily. Rangers Series Gold and Silver.
It was here. She was right here.
Dylan, we have to go!
Summer?
I'm here, Dylan. I'm with you.
Take my hand!
The story of Dylan is one of heartbreak and longing. Longing for what his life once was, and what was taken from him. We see that Dylan was once in the hands of Venjix, with nothing but a pocket watch and his sister, who was blind. At some point, his sister gets dragged away by grinders to be experimented on, leaving him alone, unaware of her whereabouts. These dreams come to Dylan sporadically, as they were once memories violently stolen away. During a battle, Dylan finds a monster who claims to have taken his memories per the request of Venjix. Now he's again met with the decision of being a Power Ranger and defending the world from harm by destroying the attack bot, or leaving him alive to keep those lost memories intact. Dr. K makes the decision to take Dylan offline for the time being, a decision proving unsuccessful. This is where we see the extent of what Venjix must have done to Dylan while he'd been held, as he manages to continuously refuse the shutdown and even powers up beyond it. His growing frustration brings him to lead in taking out the attack bot for good.
Any nice dreams?
No.
At some point during the fight, Dylan was hit in the arm with a signal from the attack bot that reacted to the dormant virus laying within him. When Dr. K realizes this, she relays that this virus has started growing and at some point could now fully envelop him. A lot is happening with Dylan, and we're getting a good string of episodes using his past as a focus point, as opposed to little bits and pieces that we've been used to. We're now starting to get battle interactions between both Dylan and Tanaya 7, reveling at each other's strengths. A human and a machine.
For a human, you're pretty fast.
For a robot, you're pretty human.
Don't ever call me that again!
With Tanaya managing to escape unscathed, the Rangers lose in more ways than one, as the virus inside Dylan is seemingly taking its hold, as Dylan begins shutting down the city's shields and tearing the command center apart. On another note, I can't stand the show continuing this Summer is attracted to both Scott and Dylan thing, when clearly the series is leaning towards Summer and Dylan, and Scott hasn't shown any interest in Summer like that, like all that much.
Any nice dreams?
I'm having one right now.
Good night. Kiss.
Like, even Dr. K tried to get in on it at one point, but the show, and I can assume nearly everyone watching, wants it to be Dylan, so the whole is it not is a little tiring. The Rangers do the best they can to stop Dylan. It turns out there was a device planted on him during the fight. While this device was plucked once found, it accelerated the virus inside. In comes the elaborate plan, surprisingly led by Ziggy. The idea is to find the attack bot that planted the device to get its circuit board and download its program to possibly slow down the virus's takeover. They'll lower the shields, which will allow Venjix to send the army, including the attack bot they're looking for. This is so amazing to me, as it demonstrates the strength of their relationship as a team of Power Rangers. Like, right now, it isn't necessarily about defending the entire world, but more so one of their own. Not wanting the shields lowered because of himself, Dylan plans to run away, and we get this really nice back and forth between him and Scott. Scott asserts himself as leader, Dylan drains the gas out of Scott's tank, and somehow Scott manages to cuff himself to Dylan while they're both sitting in the car. Now they have to go out and fight to prove their trust in each other. It's cute and a nice break of pace from the intense nature of Dylan's history. He's part machine, but he's got loads of heart. This is something that truly was needed to give him that wake-up call. Break the chains blocking your heart and accept that there are people around that care for you.
RBM! Get in gear! You have something I need!
The Rangers retrieve the circuit board, but while inspecting it, the virus takes control of Dylan and they can't contain it without the code that was once needed to program Project Vengeance, and this is where the truth comes out.
I know it because I wrote it. Everything that's happened, everything you've all been through, it's all my fault.
Bro, we are getting some lore, dude. It's all coming together now. I sure hope nobody comes in and brings everything to a screeching halt. We soon learn that the pocket watch Dylan carries plays a tune. He's able to place himself back to Vengeance's base, with Summer in his head walking him through it. He sees a location called Kenmore in Omega City, a place evacuated before the Vengeance attack on Earth. Due to how far outside the dome this city is, Scott stands up to his father defending his decision to head out there with his team, and actually wins this argument. They trek out in the go-onger van.
Go-onger, the ground outdoor operational network general purpose explorational rover.
This is my favorite section of the series because it illustrates just how tight this team is. We're literally going on a road trip in an apocalyptic world with every ranger just in the van having to put up with each other.
Dude, as if you wouldn't learn how to open a bag.
They're on limited power as they embark, and them being stuck in this stupid van together is exactly as funny as you would imagine.
Where did they come from?
Ghosts, maybe.
How can you go from this to ghosts? We let this guy drive.
Oh, what? You know.
As they run into Vengeance, who's plugged himself into a physical vessel, Dylan recognizes him and parts of his memory begin flowing back. They use their only Megazord configuration on him and get saved by Ranger Series Gold and Silver out of nowhere, who vanish shortly after. When arriving in Omega City, it's found that the vision of Kenmore was a trap implanted from the chip placed in Dylan earlier. They're led into another fight and end up leaving with nothing having been answered. Remember how I said I hope things don't come to a screeching halt? Jim and Gemma, RPM Series Gold and Silver, come in during this road trip and save the Rangers from different ambushes. After finding out the memories of the city Kenmore were fake and reaching a dead end, Jim and Gemma lift the Rangers back to the dome in their Zords, and take the focus of the show for a bit. And it's so weird, the shift that happened, because of just how hard they went in on Dylan and his story being told, to now just focus solely on Gold and Silver.
Gonna go out there and
blow it up, God.
It makes sense, being that they just got introduced and they need their time in the sun. It's just the timing of it that kind of messed with things. It also made writing this video take an extra month longer than it was originally supposed to. However, to the writing's credit, despite small setbacks, their introduction did help push Dylan's story further through the hole. Jim and Gemma remember a factory they were forced to work in where Vengeance turned human prisoners into grinders. Yes, the story of RPM is still absurdly dark, don't ever forget that. They know of the tune that plays from Dylan's pocket watch, as a girl who was trapped there would hum it all the time. Also, this girl was blind.
She was
inhibited in the
visual arena.
What does that mean? Was she ugly or something?
She had a severe case.
After hearing that the pocket watch belonged to her brother, Dylan absolutely erupts. This episode is crazy because it leads to things so much crazier. Dylan and Ziggy head to the factory and Summer follows them there. Dylan recognizes it from his memories and exactly where his sister was taken.
It was here. She was right here.
Dylan, we have to go!
They have to make it out as they get outnumbered by grinders, but we find out that Vengeance is building a doomsday machine there that can wipe out the dome and everyone in it. Oh my gosh, dude. The Rangers with General Truman infiltrate the factory again, but all together this time, ready to detonate, and by the time the machine is ready to launch, Summer gives Dylan the detonator, allowing him the choice of either detonating the factory for good or letting the machine exit while allotting himself time to find his sister amongst the area. A difficult decision, he mashes the button and they run out.
Mom,
Dylan!
Dylan! He doesn't quit.
As expected, Dylan makes his way back into the burning factory with Summer right behind him. Now, while the Rangers were inside, Jim and Gemma were able to reprogram the Doomsday Machine, with Dr. K finishing the job after its exit. It now transforms into the Whale Zord. I only mention this because, well, I mean, it's important, but also Dylan and Summer are in this burning factory, which, again, is burning, but they have this soap opera drama, like, romantic interaction, and the Whale Zord just drops a big burst of water on it and they get drenched. I know somebody was happy this scene got filmed. I don't know who wrote this, but like they wanted this to happen. At the end of the day, they do find a memento of Dylan's sister in the rubble. A lot of stuff happened in between this and the next developments in their story. Venjix's army raids the abandoned alphabet soup base and find things.
It's a chicken base of human sustenance containing pasta that's been pressed into the letters of the Latin alphabet.
The military does the same and finds the laptop that Dr. K released Venjix on and tries to arrest her for it, but she's actually a bunch of holograms running around and snuck into the general's chair. Like, what? Dylan figures out how to use the key found in the rubble from before, and when used in the pocket watch, it plays The Farmer in the Dell, the same tune that Tanaya 7 has whistled all throughout the show. Dylan rushes outside the dome where Tanaya finds him and hears the other music the pocket watch makes. He tells her the truth about what happened to her, and this scene is goated.
You're human, Tanaya.
I am Generation 7, robotic technology.
Maybe, maybe not.
She's so far gone, but not far gone enough to keep her human side from showing. She's scared and even starts bleeding. This is an instance of the entire show leading up to a big moment and the payoff being oh so worth it. The entire time was just wondering when they would both find out and if they would, and with the production meddling behind the scenes, it was never quite sure if they would ever close the hole as tight as they came. Tanaya scans herself at Venjix's base, which reveals the truth of who she really is, along with Dylan. Instead of accepting the past, she decides to rid of her brother for good in order to supposedly keep the memories from flooding back. During a fight, the Rangers, not knowing of the situation, mistakenly blast Dylan, who is trying to protect Tanaya. She's flung over a bridge, and instead of letting herself fall to be repaired later as the robotic soldier she is, she allows Dylan to help her back up.
Because she's my sister.
Tanaya pulls up to the command center with a desire to help take out Venjix, and while doubt prevails as expected, she and Dylan still make their way to Venjix's base to get codes from the inside to prevent a future attack. Tanaya pretends to capture Dylan while sliding him the codes she said she would and letting him out with no one suspecting. Also, this all happened while Dylan came in without his morpher to avoid detection. Now, here's where things get annoying. They carry out the plan and take out a Venjix attack bot. But then Tanaya gets kidnapped by the Venjix general Kilobyte, and he reprograms her. Bro, you gotta be kidding me. We just finished the plot point just for it to be rewound like a VHS tape.
I am Tanaya 15, attack bot.
Sorry.
The entire rest of the show, as the endgames are playing out, I'm just patiently waiting and watching for their finale to their story. Venjix is on a new vessel, the virus inside Dylan reaches 51% control, and now we're finding out that half the dome was infected with the virus a long time ago. If it sounds like I'm getting into the full end of the series, it's because I am. That's literally how long it takes for Dylan and Tanaya's story to wrap up. Venjix takes over, trashing the command center and raiding the military base. In the meantime, Dylan makes his way in to snag the antidote for the Venjix virus that Dr. K was whipping up, managing to take an extra one for him and his sister. Also, I don't think I've mentioned it yet in this video specifically, but the acting is absolutely crazy. Venjix deletes the Zords one by one and even deletes both Gem and Gemma.
They're gone.
I'm sorry.
You will never be able to convince me that there was a Rangers series better written nor acted than RPM. I'm sorry. I don't care how long they was in the show. Kilobyte sets his next deletion on Tanaya until Dylan comes in just at the right time, using the antidote on her before getting blasted.
Then check out this machine!
This bazooka is the funniest thing in the world to me because this is like the third time they bursted in with it all together just out of nowhere and almost killed someone.
Your memory's with you.
Road blaster!
Dylan, get down!
Road blaster! Fire! Then check out this machine!
Tanaya, Scott, Summer, and Flynn plan to ambush Venjix, with Tanaya uploading a virus to fight Venjix itself. In a series built with new characters and Rangers piling up as a unit again and again, it's so fitting to end things not only with the conclusion of a plotline held between a villain and her siblings since the start, but with the original three holding their own. Dylan runs in to save Tanaya after Venjix starts destroying the military base, and in the final hour, Dr. K is able to restore Jim and Gemma, who take out the military base entirely to fall on Venjix, with Dylan and Tanaya still inside. They make it out with emergency shoots and the entire team is reunited. The ending of RPM is incredible. Venjix is gone, Scott is asked to lead the Eagle Squadron, and Dylan is set to make up lost time with his sister Tanaya. RPM was an adventure like no other, with stories written to invoke only the strongest of emotions. Dylan and Tanaya's story ended in such a satisfying way after everything the show had led us through. I still wish, however, that she was given the chance to Ranger up, even if just for a few minutes near the end. Lots of twists and turns, heartbreak, and overcoming the odds. I loved seeing the bond between Rangers still intact, Ziggy and Dylan, Dr. K and Ziggy being an item in the end, everyone being content with the world having been taken care of. Power Rangers RPM is a show that knows what its purpose is despite production issues behind the scenes. What was brought forth from beginning to end made for an unforgettable ride, even managing to still leave off on a cliffhanger. Disney's final hurrah with Power Rangers went out in the strongest way it possibly could, throwing everything at the wall, money included, deciding to film 90% of the show itself as opposed to relying on Super Sentai footage. To this day, I still regard RPM as the best written series of Power Rangers we've ever gotten. Ranger Operator Series Black, Power Rangers RPM.
Austin, Autistic Disney, Chaco, Emilia, Gwen, Ian, Jake, Luke, Manny, Matt, Prima Donna, Thomas.